Okay, we are recording on May 13th, and I will give y'all just a little bit of update on YouTube. Y'all, this has been a challenge, but I'm going to figure it out. And it looks like it might be easier for me to record on Zoom and then upload it to YouTube rather than going live. And so I don't know. That may be what I'm doing initially until I can get the live thing because they denied my live ability. They want more information, and I just haven't had time. Hey, Christy, glad you're here. We have Dawn and Jody here too. So anyway, I am still working on it, but oh, there's Alexandra. I'm still working on it, and we'll get it. But I think I can load, and I was gonna try to load the one from last week on YouTube, and honestly, I just ran out of time. So I'm going to work on that, and then I'm recording this one and I'll try to load it. So I really want everything housed on YouTube. So promise you, I'm working on it, and we're going to get it figured out this month for sure. Hey, Alexandra. So yay, we got 5 on now. So, all right, I am going to read Mary Kay's words of wisdom and say a quick prayer, and then we're going to get started. So it's May 13th, and I don't know if y'all know, I should have probably posted more about it yesterday than I did, but yesterday was Mary Kay's birthday, which I think probably a lot of people knew that. You can kind of do a lot of things around that. It's not too late, really. I've seen people putting things out in honor of Mary Kay's birthday. They're having, like a selling challenge. They're trying to sell so many items this week or whatever. So you can always do stuff like that related to her birthday. But today is May 13th, and this is her words on education. And it says, finally, be sure you take advantage of what the experts have to offer. Whatever you need, information, encouragement, motivation, advice, don't hesitate to turn to those who have the knowledge and expertise to guide you. Which, that's always good for me, because there's always something I don't know. So I'm always going, and that's kind of why we do this every week, right? To help each other figure things out. So, okay, I'm going to say a really quick prayer and then we'll get started. Lord, I just thank you for this day, and I thank you for all these ladies and their teams as well that they represent here. And Lord, we just ask that you be with us tonight, help us to learn, help us to be able to be focused. Thank you so much for all of them being here. And sometimes it's crazy in our lives, everything that's going on. And I just thank you for their commitment to make this work for them anyway. And Lord, we just do want to continue to lift up Laura's granddaughter, Addie. Lord, just give the doctors wisdom on what best needs to be done for treatment for her and exactly maybe what's going on. They still are not completely sure, but I know they're going to give her MRI results very soon. And so we just pray for that, and we pray that there's nothing serious, but something that they can really just figure out. And so she'll sleep better and feel better. And Lord, we just thank you again for the opportunity we have in Mary Kay, and we just hope to use it for your glory. It's in his name we pray. Amen. All right. Oh, Debbie Bird is getting on. Everybody's just a couple minutes late. Okay. So I am going to do some recognition first. And I did pull this a little earlier than I normally do. So if I missed something you turned in, let me know. But I had Laura and Jody who turned in accomplishment sheets on Mary Kay in Touch. And Laura had a $317 week. Yay, Laura, Star Week, consistent Star Week. And Jody had a $658 week. She had 1 power hour and 5 faces. Jody, do you want to share just a tad bit about your faces, and then
It what? The late payment box?
Okay, go ahead and share a couple of things about your faces, and then I'll let you go ahead and do product knowledge when you finish that.
Okay, great. Yeah, so 2 faces I had were actually a mother-daughter, and I was refacialing the mother, but I had never facialed the daughter, and we had her on skincare, but she's starting to have breakouts and stuff. So we actually went through the steps and everything, and I actually followed up with them, and she's already seeing a difference in her skin. She wasn't, she's a teenager, and she wasn't washing her face morning and night. She was like maybe morning here or maybe night here, or maybe, and I was like, girl, you've got to, because she had blackheads bad anyway. And her mom also was a bad example because she was not washing her face on a regular basis either. And so whenever I followed up with them, she was like, I can see a difference in my face too, which, y'all, that's huge, just making sure that people understand that. And then the other three faces that I got was actually kind of a gift, an event that was gifted to me, and went in not knowing anybody and ended up having three new faces and got two new customers out of it. And what I did was, it was an event for a group whose husbands were in meeting. So they were trying to help the women kill the time in the afternoon. So I ended up doing the pedicures, the satin body, the satin line pedicures. And it was fun. They had a great time, and they have invited me to come back for next year.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and I don't know, we probably talked a little bit about it before, but what Jody does is she uses the satin body line on their feet, and then she wraps, you do it after they've got everything washed off, and then they have the lotion on, right? And you
Right.
wrap it in saran wrap and then a towel around that.
And the Mint Bliss. So
and the mint, oh yeah, okay.
Satin body and the Mint Bliss. One lady had gout in her, so this is a perfect example. So this lady was actually Angela's client, and we went ahead and did the full pedicure on her, but I referred her back to Angela because we do not take sales from other consultants, period. Period. And I can go in further because I actually had a customer tell me about another consultant, and it's not right. We work hard for the money that we make, and it's not right to take sales from other consultants. So anyway, she had gout in her foot, and that Mint Bliss literally, like y'all, like the swelling, when we took the towel and the wrap off, her foot had not, I mean, it wasn't completely down, but the swelling had gone down. It was amazing.
That's really good, because I had no idea to offer that to people, for that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of a different kind of thing, and then she did satin lips, and you did lipsticks, right? Because they were going to go to something that evening, right?
Yeah, because they had a banquet and something at 6. And so I was there from 2 to 4. I was actually there early to set up, but I left a little bit before 4 because the little pedicure situation doesn't take a full, it's maybe a 30-minute presentation, depending on how much, questioning and stuff. And it did end up taking longer because they like to talk and ask questions, which was great. And I didn't share a whole lot about the opportunity, but I did share about the company. So yeah, good. It was fun. It was a really good time. So
Betty did call me today, Jody, and tell me how wonderful you are, and that you even help set up and move tables. And I said, oh, us Mary Kay girls know how to move tables. I'm like, that's not anything new. She's like, she just helped us move tables and set up and everything.
Yeah. And I delivered to the one customer that was here local today, and sat down and visited with her for a minute. And I think she's actually going to come Monday for the skincare Monday night.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
good. Yay.
Anyway.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, I'll let you go ahead and go with product knowledge before I move on.
Great. So the product knowledge that I'm going to do tonight is, and I don't know if we've done it before. I can't remember what we've done, but this is the replenishing C+E serum. And I think it also gets overlooked a lot, just for the simple fact that we have multiple serums and the boosters and stuff like that. But and I remember why I started using it, because I think it's Leah Carta is an esthetician, and she was saying that when you combine this with the lifting serum from the repair line, it boosts the lifting serum, because it just triples the action or doubles the action of collagen rebuild. So when I was rereading the product sheet on this, in fact, I even asked Angela, do you remember reading this sheet? She was like, yeah. Y'all, I'm going to read you this sheet because it is excellent, and it gives you so much information. So without further ado, I'll just read it to you. So the results of the test, and they did a clinical test of 4 weeks. And in 4 weeks, the overall appearance improved by 92%. They had visibly firmer skin, 89% of them. 87% had more radiant skin, and 84% had reduced fine lines. Now, this is, it's like packed with all kinds of stuff in it. So it says the C plus E effective alone, extraordinary together. So C plus E, vitamin C is like this huge thing. So vitamin C is great for the skin, so is vitamin E. Put them together and you've created something truly extraordinary. This better together pairing of 2 super antioxidants in time-wise. Sorry, y'all, I need to make my screen bigger. Replenishing C plus E is supported by decades of scientific research demonstrating how this interaction improves antioxidant performance and daily use delivers skin that is firmer, brighter, and glowing with good health. Vitamin E is a highly potent antioxidant critical of protecting against premature skin aging, is depleted as it fights damaging free radicals, and when it's paired with vitamin C, it receives a boost that reignites its age-fighting power. With this formula, Mary Kay scientists have leveraged the dynamic cycle of replenishment to do even more for your skin. Now, I love this because I didn't realize this, but the vitamin E and vitamin C that is in this is encapsulated. And what that means is it is slow release. So the properties in it, so let me see. Pure vitamin C, which is ascorbic acid, supports your skin's natural repair process. The antioxidant properties of vitamin C and the role it plays in supporting natural collagen production make this ingredient a vital component of skin health. Plus vitamin E, time-wise replenishing C plus E, vitamin C and vitamin E are encapsulated together so the pure version of the vitamin C experiences a controlled release alongside vitamin E to help facilitate their dynamic cycle of replenishment. In addition, vitamin E helps improve the stability of vitamin C, which I didn't realize all of that. I mean, I knew vitamin E and C together were like a powerhouse, but I didn't realize that it was like that much of a support program. They also have an oil-soluble vitamin C in this. So it has been included in this formula to perform in areas of the skin traditionally hard to reach. Because vitamin C is naturally water soluble, the additional source of vitamin C is included to enhance the absorption. There is also an amla fruit extract, which is also a rich source of vitamin C and is also high in antioxidants. So daily use, morning and night, you're going to see brighter skin, also more even skin tone. You're also going to have a collagen production. And this bottle is actually airtight. So the product is, whenever it comes out, it's a pure product. It's not contaminated or anything like that. It also protects against all the antioxidants. So it creates a barrier. It is 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks, your clients should be replacing it, and it is $60. Okay. Now, for whatever reason, I know it says 6 weeks, y'all, but I can swear I don't replace mine every 6 weeks. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's measured and it says 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's it.
Thank you. I know I use it and I love it, but I didn't remember all of that about it.
Yeah.
Because I can't always remember. And that's the serum too, right? That they've said to use alongside the ferulic booster to boost the chance that you're gonna get rid of. Because I think Alexandra talked about that when she was talking about that booster, that the company really kind of considers those two together to be really great if you have age spots, right?
Yeah. In fact, I even have a customer, and she used to be a consultant. She became a consultant, and she's gone back to being a customer. But she had an age spot on her forehead, and I was like, "Girl, you got to use this because it makes a complete and total difference." And that was before the boosters, and it lightened it. It lightened it a lot. And as soon as it lightened it, she quit using it. And I'm like, you've got to keep using it.
Mhm. I just like the way it feels. Like,
Mhm.
I love the way it feels.
Yeah, I
too.
can tell a difference when I don't use it. So
Mhm. Any other comments about that product or questions? Okay, well, thank you, Jody, for doing
yes,
that.
thank you.
Yeah, and honestly, even if we've done a product, it is always helpful to me to learn again and to hear again, especially because that was a lot of information about that particular product, and I can't always remember all of that. So that's one of those I think I need to have that printed or pick 2 or 3 things off of there that I can really talk about when I'm talking about that product. It's not one I typically bring out when I'm doing just, especially the first time with someone. But if they say, their issues are related to age spots or wrinkles, I mean, pretty much everybody's got that, then they need that. So, okay, thanks, Debbie.
Yeah. You
So-
know, I the face I had last week, the new customer I had last week did the repair. I actually gave her this free with the set. I mean,
Mhm.
I did it in the facial, but that's my special to her for her doing a face with me was she bought the repair set, so I gave her this free.
Mm. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's an additional good bonus to the repair set. So I know I like both those serums and they feel different. So from each other. So it's kind of different. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, I was going to share a couple of fun things for you guys that I was trying to figure out last week. We just didn't really have time. And then I'm going to go into some time management stuff because I watched Callie Brigham's training she did on YouTube about time management. And she was and I'll tell you more about it, but we'll talk about it because it's definitely Mary Kay related. And those of you that have had training on weekly plan sheet, it's going to look familiar to you, but she had different thoughts around it. So I'd like to kind of talk about that. But before we do that, I wanted to make sure that you guys had seen that. Let me see if I can get my screen to work. Okay. First of all, you know how sometimes you have trouble finding things on Mary Kay in Touch? So for example, we can go to business tools, and under business tools towards the bottom, we have our document library and our digital library. Document library is more like PDFs, sometimes pictures, but digital image library is definitely pictures. But if you go to the document library, then on the left-hand side is all the documents related to, so now I have the summer toolkit. I don't know if you guys have that yet or not, or if you'll have it by the 16th, but then there's body care. And so these are all the documents related to body care. Like this one compares all the different body care products we have, different things like that. So for example, I think one that we often want to have access to is I went down here to Flawless Face, and we want to see the conversion chart for Mary Kay foundations. And right now, because cream to powder is going out of the line, we may have to look at that and compare. So if someone's using an Ivory 5 cream to powder and we know we can't get that anymore, we got to see, well, what samples can I give her maybe in matte or luminous? So this is one of those things that, so I'm going to click on it. These are one of those things that we tend to want. So what Mary Kay has allowed you to do now is up at the top when you open one of these documents or an image, see where it says add to favorite right here? You can just click add to favorite. And then when I go back, it took me all the way back. I'm going to go back to document library. I have a favorites box over here at the top, and now it's in my favorites box. So if there's something that you are having to go search for frequently and you're like, man, I can't remember where that was, open it and hit favorites and it'll be in your favorites. And then that way you're not always having to search for it. So I think that's kind of a cool feature that they added, because I have to say with this new system, sometimes I have a hard time finding what I need. But something like that foundation conversion chart is something I use all the time. Like this is the new skincare regimen comparison chart. So I put that in my favorites. So things that I want to have access to quickly, I'm just going to put in my favorites. And I could do that from, like, I could go to business tools and go down to digital image library. And I could do like, so we now have the new summer products. Maybe I want to have the men's skincare line picture in my favorites because I might be wanting to show that now or post it or something. I can hit add to favorites. And then when I go, let's see if I can go back without going all the way back. Well, I think it's gonna take me, oh, there. Took me back to, that's funny. It took me back to the document library when I was in the digital image library. Interesting. But now I have a favorites under my digital image library and that's in there. So think about the things that you really, really like and you don't want to have to dig for them multiple times. You can just go add that to favorites. So did y'all know you could do that? That's new. That's a new feature, but I wanted to figure it out because I think I'm not going to forget where something is. I forget sometimes. So I wanted to show that to you. The other thing I wanted to show you was on your Mary Kay website. This is new as well. So this is your personal website. This is not your Mary Kay in Touch, but where your customers go. They have a new feature on here now too. So let's say I just want to go to the limited edition Mary Kay brow kit. So I click on that, it brings it up. Now they have what they call reviews. There's 12 reviews for this product and you can write a review even as a consultant if you want to. But I was trying to figure out, and so you guys can think about this. Is there something like maybe you have a customer that just loves a certain product? You could ask them to go to your website, encourage them to go to your website, click on their favorite product and write a review. And then, I don't know, have them look around and say, find a product you've never tried before or something, so that you've got them on your website. But it's kind of cool. And so if you hit write a review, and you can go to your personal website or you can go to just marykay.com and put it, but I think that it shows all of them. But here is like, if you want to write a review, you put how many stars it is, give your review, would you recommend this? And then it does want to know whether you're a consultant or not. So if you're a consultant, you have to put your consultant number in there. And then it asks you several questions. You can even add a selfie or a video if you're just awesome like that and you want to do that. But you can also go and read the reviews. So like even if there was a customer that was asking about a product, you could go see what other people have reviewed it and how so far it's got 5 stars. And this girl put a picture in there. So it's like, works great for my needs. I'm very pleased my consultant showed me this product. Love how easy to use this new product is. So it's cool. This is a new feature that the Mary Kay. And so like it even shows that all like the 100% of the reviews on this product right now are 5 stars. So kind of a cool thing. I mean, if you're really creative and you can figure out ways how to get your customers to your website utilizing this, definitely do it. But I just wanted to make sure you guys knew it was there and you have the option even as a consultant to write a review if you want to. Okay, any questions about either of those two things? Okay. The last thing I wanted to share with you. So today, Alexandra shared something with me. She's in a group on Facebook where she can get some like graphics done. And I noticed that it was free, but they like wanted you to give donations if you wanted to or whatever, which Alexandra can share more about that if she wants to in a minute. But I wanted y'all to be aware of this website. It's called pajamagraphics.com. And so I pay a lady called Erin Marlowe, and I pay for her monthly subscription, and I have access to all kinds of things in Canva. Like she creates all these beautiful things, but I use them. That's how I create our invitations for stuff. That's how I create our calendar. Like I pull it and push stuff from there. Like it's great, but it's not necessarily cost effective for consultants, and her service is really only for directors. However, she's created this separate service that's for consultants. Now, you can pay for this, but I don't necessarily think you need to, because she's giving a lot of this for free if you want it under Go Give. So if you go to pajamagraphics.com/go give, then you can just click on Go Give, and she gives you a tutorial of how it works. But basically you can take any of this stuff that you want to use. So like here is Pretty Things Aside, she's created, this is like final bells rung. So like it's more customer related than it is like unit related, like what I pay for. And and she says that she's made it where you do not have to pay for Canva. You should be able to update any of her stuff that she gives you free in free Canva. So like this is a gift with purchase thing that she's using here. She's got a thing on the new body care set. This is a flyer on SPF is your BFF. I mean, she's created all this, and you can go there. You do have to like sign in and create a password, but you can go there and just do the Go Give stuff. And so she's probably going to have, we get a lot of digital pictures off of Mary Kay and Touch that you can use, but she's actually created something a little bit more with that. So if that's something that floats your boat, then you can go to pajamagraphics.com. I'm not necessarily promoting you pay. If you go start looking at the albums, it'll tell you like you got to pay, and it's like a monthly fee or a yearly fee. I don't know if that it's worth that for it, depending on how much graphics you're doing, but I think it's worth going in there to get the free stuff. So I just wanted y'all to be aware of that. And her stuff is great. I mean, I do pay, and that's where I get a lot of the unit stuff. That's where I get a lot of the pictures. That's where I create all of our stuff from. But anyway, just wanted y'all to be aware of that too. Any questions about any of that? Okay. Okay, so those are just like this and that, things that are available to you. Yes, you use Canva, Debbie, with all of her stuff. When you click on it, it just automatically opens it into Canva. And you don't have to have the paying Canva. You can just have the free Canva. So I think like her SPF is your BFF, that's super cute. So, but what Alexandra showed me today that she got was really great. And that's a Facebook group, and a lady she's just kind of creating graphics, right? And I saw that she said it's free, but you have to message her what you want. Like if you want your picture added to her graphic, and she's doing it for you, right, Alexandra?
Right. She does everything for you because she already has up there. There are a lot of just a lot of other templates, tons of templates up there. And if you're whatever template you're interested in, you can put that, she'll create it for you. And what she's a single mom. She has 2 kids, and she just does this at home, creates those on her, she's very creative. So she does all of those. And then there are a lot of templates where she has them where it's free for you to use. And like you said, with the Canva, you could take that and, put that on your Canva, do your own thing. So these are the same thing. And, you don't have to you don't have to pay her for it, but she said, donations are appreciated. And I do donate some things to her. Yeah.
Well, what you showed me today that she created for you, I meant to put it out here and I forgot. If you feel like you want to, you can post it in the Ocean's Bright Stars if you want to. It's up to you, Alexandra, but it looked really nice. And she put Alexandra's picture on it. And so it looked good. So that's a thought too. And if you're really interested in that, I think Alexandra can invite you to that group because it's like a private group in Facebook. So, I didn't even tell you I was going to say all that, Alexandra, but hopefully that's okay. But she sent it to me today, and it was really pretty. And then I knew that Erin Marlowe was also offering these free graphics. So I just wanted y'all to be aware of it. If you need something like that, you can do that. So, okay. So now let's talk about time management. It's our favorite thing. So if you have been in Mary Kay very long, then you've seen this weekly plan sheet. It's everybody's favorite. It's a week long, and it's like every hour of the week. And we often train on how you need to make a weekly plan sheet, especially if you're trying to work Mary Kay and you're doing other things in your life. So Callie Brigham did a little training, and you know, she's kind of the master at lots of things, Mary Kay. Those of you that aren't familiar with her, she's a top sales director in our division, and she lives in Florida. She's really good friends with HDK. And so she said about a year ago, because we've always kind of been taught that we make our weekly plan sheet on Saturday afternoon or on Sunday, and we prep for our week that week. And I don't know how many of you, when she said this, I thought this totally made sense. Saturdays, sometimes we're doing other things, right? We're either doing Mary Kay or we have fun things to do. We're not usually just sitting, usually, sometimes I am, but usually I'm not just sitting around ready to do my planning for the next week. Sometimes Saturday I'm in more of a mood of I'm going to work Mary Kay and then I'm just going to relax, right? Because I usually take off at 5 o'clock on Saturday, and I kind of take my Sabbath from 5 o'clock on Saturday to Sunday at 5, depending. I do some Mary Kay stuff on Sunday evenings, but for the most part, I usually try to take off those 24 hours. And so she said a year ago, she started doing her weekly plan sheet for the following week on Friday. Now, if you work a full-time job, that is a little more challenging because you're kind of like, ooh, I got to do that on Friday night. You could do it on Friday during your lunch hour if you've got one. I mean, you guys that work full-time, you can let me know what you think works best. But she said that what's happened to some people is they just get this in their in their stomach, like in their gut, like, oh my gosh, on Sunday, I've got to plan my week. And they don't want to do it. And she said, if she does it on Friday, it kind of closes out her current week. And then she has higher, more positive energy on Friday. Things don't seem as urgent because she's kind of planning ahead. And she prevents that Sunday anxiety, and it preps you mentally before the weekend. Now, I would do it on Friday or Saturday. I still am wrapping up my week on Saturday. I do work Mary Kay on Saturdays quite often, actually. I consider that a work day for Mary Kay because a lot of people are available on Saturdays to do faces. So she tries not to work Mary Kay on Saturdays, and she's a top director, but I do a lot of faces on Saturdays. And if I ask someone if they can do a Saturday or a weekday or a weekend, in the evening during the week, 90% of the people tell me they're available on Saturdays. So I tend to work on Saturdays, but that's your choice. That's the cool thing about being a Mary Kay consultant. You do decide when you work, right? So she said, we tend to have 6,000 thoughts per day. I don't know, probably more than that. And so she said, by planning your week, it decreases your stress by 73% if you plan ahead. And I think some of us do, and some of us do good certain weeks, and then others of us do not. And she says you cannot organize what you haven't acknowledged. So, that's important. And she said what she did, and I did post all of these in Boshen's Bright Stars. It's called the Brain Drain Sheets. I think we've probably heard of the brain dump before, but she likes the word brain drain better. And so she uses the main sheet, which let me share these for you. Let me see, I think I can. Nope, that shared the wrong thing, sorry. Let me see if I can get them up. Okay. So this is her first sheet she uses, and this is the sheet she uses to do her brain drain. You could kind of decide what you wanted your categories to be. This is similar to what I do, but there's the personal stuff, there's the professional stuff, there's a meal plan, which, I've told y'all before, I cook every single night. So I plan meals at the beginning of the week. I order the groceries from Walmart. I go pick them up. We usually go get a few things at our regular grocery store, like vegetables and certain meats and stuff that I don't get at Walmart. And then I know my meals for the whole week. It's not necessarily complicated, but that's just something I've always done. And since I'm tracking like all my macros right now and everything I'm eating, I'm really planning all that stuff. And then she has delegation. And I've decided this is an area I must not be very good at it, because I was like, oh, I don't have anything for that. Which I do have an assistant that does help me with Mary Kay stuff. And I do have a house cleaner. So I do delegate some things, but I thought that's something to think about. But you could put whatever categories you feel like. So if you feel like the work that you do at your regular job you need to have on your brain drain, you could put that on here too if you need to. If you do some kind of volunteer thing that you do, or something that you do a lot of things, you could put that on here as an area. So I kind of wrote mine all out in pencil. I kind of did pencil, so you can't really see it, but I did kind of brain drain it all out earlier in the week. Now, this is one way you can do it. She also provides you a full page for each category. So if those 4 little boxes don't float your boat and you want lines, then she's giving you a whole page of lines for personal, a whole page of line for professional. And then here's your meal plan and your shopping list all on this sheet. And then here's your delegation list, like what tasks need to be delegated and who you're delegating it to. So depending on how your brain works, you could brain drain on that one sheet, or you could do it on the 4 different sheets. And then couple of thoughts she also had. Then she takes everything from the brain drain, everything that she's got, she writes everything down, and she's very, very specific. Then she goes and takes that to put on her weekly plan sheet. Now, some people hate this thing. They hate the weekly plan sheet, but I think it's worth it to do it for a few weeks to a month to see where you can improve and see what might need to change for you. So when you're doing this weekly plan sheet, and I know it's not the right way here, but this is kind of what it looks like. And it's got like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Put your non-negotiables or your repeat activities on here for sure. So if you work, 8 to 5 or whatever every day, you put that on there. So you may do something during lunch that's Mary Kay oriented, some phone calls, deliver product or something like that. But for the most part, you put that. If you always go to church at this time, you put that in there, whatever your non-negotiables are. If there's certain time that you have with your family, you put that in there. And then you put the rest of your stuff, but be very detailed. So she said, don't just put, I'm running errands during this time. Like, be very specific. What specific errands are you running, and what order are you running them in? And where, so that you know how much time you need. And she color codes things. So like regular work would be one thing, Mary Kay would be another color, church would be another color, whatever. And she habit stacks. So for example, habit stacking is being very efficient with your time. So if she's going to get her oil changed and she has to sit there while her oil is being changed, she can sit there and book for Mary Kay or do follow-up phone calls and I did this a whole lot when my kids were little, because I used to have to sit at soccer practice, for an hour or whatever, or I'd be sitting at the school waiting to pick up my children from school. And sometimes that was the 30 minutes because you had to get there early enough to, whatever that is. Or if you have a doctor's appointment or whatever, what can you be doing during that time? Maybe it's you're getting, I'm trying to read certain amount of pages every day. So maybe I have my book with me while I'm waiting at the doctor's office and I'm getting my pages read, So think about habit stacking and be efficient with your time. And also make sure you mark in your planning time. So it takes a while to sit there and do a brain drain. But once you have your initial brain drain, you can work off that to make your weekly plan sheet. And then sometimes I don't have to redo my brain drain sheet for a couple weeks because I'm still kind of working off that, and I may just add things to it. And also block time you don't want anyone to take. So like for the month of May for me, I have blocked some specific time because I'm trying to get my daughter's room turned into an office for me. So I'm trying to block so many hours every day that I do not run errands. I do not take Mary Kay phone calls. I do not, because if I don't block that time, I'm still not going to get that office done. It's only going to get done if I'm on purpose, cleaning it out, getting it ready. So I'm blocking time on my calendar now for that. And that way I don't put any appointments. So I've blocked time through the whole month of May, so that if someone says, "Oh, can you I need to, set your next hair appointment. Do you want to do that on Wednesday morning?" And I'm going to go, "Nope, can't do it on Wednesday morning. I've blocked that time off for something else." So, that's because I have it on my calendar ahead of time. And then make sure that you align to what is important to you. So you can do this weekly plan sheet. She also has it, if that little tiny thing with all those little boxes doesn't float your boat. She also has it broken down into a sheet per day. So you could just do a sheet for every day, and it gives you more space to write. And you also have all of your food on the right. So if this is like better for you, she gives us several of these, but you can you can print new ones. So I think the thing too that I found when I've done this consistently, and sometimes I have a hard time scheduling out my whole week at a time, because I have customers call or whatever and need things. I don't drop everything and deliver it, but then I may end up having to put in a delivery time on Thursday that I really didn't know. I mean, your other thought process in on that is, Roxy is the master at, Roxy's a director that we have known forever from Kansas City. She only delivers 2 times a week, and she always puts those people in those 2 times a week. So she knows that's already set. Now, I do that in a sense, but like if it's someone at my church, then I'm going to take it while I'm at church. Or if someone, like I might be driving on my way to choir practice on Wednesday night and they live near my church. So I do go ahead and deliver, because I'm trying to make, sense of my time that I have. But I think it's worth it to do like 3 days at least, even if you did it on the big sheet, and plan 3 days, see where you have trouble. Like, are you not giving yourself enough time to do the things that you need to do? Are you getting too many distractions? Oh, did y'all have a question? The sheets that I'm showing are posted on Boshen's Bright Stars. Is that what y'all are asking? Sorry, I'm trying to read that. Yeah. Yes, you can. It can be downloaded. She said that it could be done on an iPad, but she didn't actually give us that, because what I posted are these sheets that she would print off. I actually do think that you could create it, though. You could recreate it like on your iPad or something like that, and you could do it electronically, because she did say that you could use it electronically if you wanted, but she didn't give us an electronic link for that. But you could kind of recreate that. And I think I've created the weekly plan sheet, the one with all the little things. I think I have that I created years ago when I first started Mary Kay in Excel or something. I'll look for that. But that's not as easily on your phone. So you could, whatever you have available on your phone, maybe. Oh, does she have a link? I wasn't sure, Jody, because did you watch it? The day she did it? She's charging. She's charging if you want to keep doing it with her.
She's charging now for an actual training, but
yes,
she, I follow Callie because
yes.
Callie, anyway, she was the reason why I actually was submitted for DIQ. But I'll have to find that link, because she had like the brain dump sheets. She had those out at some point on her her personal page, and I'll try to find it, and then I'll try to share it on.
And because I did sign up for that, she sent me several emails, and maybe it was in there and I didn't see it. So I'll go back and look, because I did get the sheets via email, but I don't know. But she did say you could do it electronically. You don't have to do it on paper. It's really whatever works best for you. So between us, maybe we can find that link. And because her, like, if you want to like sign up for a class, it's like $395 or something like that. And so she actually will sit down and work with you, like to fill it out with you, you know, but I think that it's something you can do on your own if you're committed and willing to do it. And I think it's worth it because sometimes what it showed me when I did it is that I was not giving myself enough time for certain tasks. And I wasn't taking it in consideration that I might get phone calls during the day or something that I would need to stop and work on. And so what I started doing is pre-filling time that I would deal with things like that. Like if a customer called or if a consultant messaged me and had a question, or, you know, I learned that I needed to put time in every day to have available for that at a certain time. So it is super helpful to you. And it also, for me, for my brain, I am a writer and I think better if I'm writing it out. So I like to write it, but you know, some people are all about electronic. And so it's really whatever works best for you. But what I find, if I get it out of my head, it helps my energy level, because if it's all in my head, then it's like it's taking energy. And I sometimes don't work on the thing that I should be working on first, because I'm just dealing with I'm just reacting to everything that's happening to me during that day instead of being proactive on the things that I already know that I need to get done. So does that kind of make sense? Does anyone have tips on that? Or ideas that has worked great for them on time management? Is anyone an expert?
I'm not, excuse me, I'm not really an expert, but I kind of like how you went over it again, because I get ready to do it. And I'm like, okay, I've got my plan, everything's ready. And I don't stay with my plan. I go off to someplace else. So I think really the best thing to do is to stay with your plan. Maybe, because I don't think what it is, maybe shut off certain things, like shut off when you're working on something, shut off the TV. And sometimes they say, hey, find your favorite song or whatever. For me, I'm like, okay, shut off the radio, shut off any outside, I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever you call them.
because it can distract you. Yeah.
Any
For me,
distractions
and my
outside. Yeah.
phone even. And one of the things I learned early in Mary Kay too is if you want to work on something, and you want to give it a certain amount of time, you just set a timer even. You know, you set a timer and you say, okay, like I'm going to book for 30 minutes and I'm not going to get up from this spot until I've done this for 30 minutes, and I'm not going to answer any other phone calls. I'm only going to work on my booking, you know, right now for 30 minutes or whatever that is. So setting a timer also has been helpful to me, so that I just know that I have to be focused for 20 minutes on this. And so, and if you turn off like the TV or your phone or the radio or whatever while you're doing that, I think that's helpful. Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Alexandra. Any other thoughts? Jody, do you, you know, Callie has a YouTube channel where she does podcasts a lot, and she has a new one every Tuesday. And they are Mary Kay related, but they're also very much just life related. And I don't know. Do you listen to them every week?
I have not listened to him lately. I was listening to him every week. I know that Laura also has been listening to him, and they are married. She does interview quite a few Mary Kay people, but she has such a phenomenal circle of influence. She, like, I don't know how she meets all these people, but some of them she meets through, because she has her kids in private school and she meets some of them through that. But like she interviewed one lady that set the world record for like walking on the treadmill. And this lady is not, I mean, this lady is like an entrepreneur as well, but she's also like a motivating speaker and stuff like that. And then she interviewed these two ladies, and I wish I could remember off the hand what they have a podcast as well. And anyway, she interviews all kinds of people, and she interviews people, women of influence, and it's mainly women, and they are powerhouse women, like women that are self-made, going and blowing and setting new standards and just doing all kinds of things. So I think she even interviewed HDK.
Yeah.
I think she did. She may not have. But she has interviewed, she's interviewed lots of people, and it's interesting to hear all of the different things. So
I'll try to post it's called Perfect-ish Time Management Podcast, and it's just on YouTube. And
it used to be called TikTok.
yes, yeah. And she's got so you can just subscribe to her channel on YouTube, but I'll try to post that too. So if you guys just want something super positive that will help you in Mary Kay, but also in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge, everything that she talks about, you can apply in your personal life and in your work life. And, she's like a 5 or 6 time $1 million director. And she's been in the top 3 multiple times. And she's usually always a prestige trip earner. And for those of you that don't understand what that is, that means that she's moving and grooving. And she is top of the top in Mary Kay. But her mother is also a retired national. So she's amazing. She's an amazing.
I honestly don't know. She's in the Ruby division with us right now, and I have no idea what division she'll be in starting in July. I just was thinking about that. But we'll still have access to her through her podcast. So
yeah.
Anyway, okay, well, hopefully I just wanted to give you guys a few tips tonight, and then I just think we haven't been thinking about this in a while. And I think it could help us, especially in May and June, as we finish out this seminar year, and maybe get some time management things in place so that even when we start in July in our new seminar year, we are already going. Anyway, you think she's going to be in Diamond? Is that what you think, Alexandra? So anyway, that'll kind of help us get started. I think that sometimes what happens to us in Mary Kay is the week gets out of, it goes by really fast, and we haven't done exactly what we wanted to do. And so we have to decide what's important to us and then make sure that we put it on paper. But we're not suggesting that it take over everything in your life. You have to do other things in your life. So you just have to plan your work and work your plan, as Mary Kay always said. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful a little bit on that regard, and help you think about doing that again. And I'm really personally, I like the full sheets, but that's because I like to write everything out. But you could do it. I mean, you could literally do it on notes in your phone, like wherever your notes are, or you could do it in a Word document. You really don't even have to have her sheets, but it was just really great the way she organized it. And so I thought that was helpful. So, okay, it is 6:54. So I don't want to keep y'all. Did anyone have guests for tonight? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So next week is a regular week with Success meeting at 6. And then the following week, which is the last Tuesday of May, is a regular week, but I'm also at 7 going to do a really fast 8 products in 8 minutes, like it would be kind of a dash out the door color look kind of thing. So if you want to invite anyone to that, it's not going to be very long, and we're just going to talk about those 8 products. And of course I will encourage skincare as well, but I'll show those 8 products. And so it'll be kind of a fast color thing if you want to invite anyone to that. And that'll be the last Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I am going to be getting with Roxy this week. We're going to have an epic selling week in June where we are going to track all of our sales and try to have like $1,000 weeks and do all the things in June. And then we'll also have a Zoom event that second Tuesday of June, which is the 10th. So we will do that Zoom event on that night collaborating with his other directors and their consultants on June 10th, and we won't have a regular meeting on that night. So if you just kind of want to put those things on in your thought process, I'll hopefully have more information about that next week and maybe some graphics for you too. So, okay. Well, I will let y'all go then. I hope you have a great evening. I'm glad you all were on, and thanks for your input. And I hope you have a great week. Okay, bye. I'm glad you were on, Christy, too, from your car.
Thanks, Angela.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
Okay, you too.